Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about thought transference. So this is almost like telepathy. This is about placing a thought into the subconscious for it to be expressed via someone else. And you can be specific, you can say, I want this specific person to say this specific thing, and then it comes about, or you can just put it out into the universe, right? Or in the subconscious mind as an affirmation and see how it's expressed in your physical experience. I'm going to give you a couple examples of mine. First, I'll start with the specific example. If you know the video where I talk about manifesting a brand new truck for my dad, I knew that he would call me on the phone and say, come check out my truck. I just know as a person, when he got it, that's what he would say. He would ask me to come to his house and check out his truck. He literally said that because I imagined it would be a phone call. The only difference in real life is that he ended up leaving a voicemail because I was mid-conversation with a friend I couldn't pick up. So he ended up leaving a voicemail, which I no longer have because I switched phone carriers, but it would be so cool to show you, where he actually says, hey, you should come check out my new truck. He said exactly what I imagined him saying. And it wasn't just because I knew that's how he talks. I've known him all my life, right? It's also because I imagined it. I imagined it vividly that way over and over until I felt satisfied, and then I carried that satisfaction into sleep. And it only took 3 days and he got his brand new truck. And it was exactly the one he wanted, all black with black wheels. You can watch that video, I'll link it in the description below. So that is one way that this can come about, right? We imagine someone saying something and then somehow, some way, that's what they end up saying for whatever reason. And it doesn't just have to be tied to them getting something, right? It could be whatever. You just want to hear something nice from someone or hear them tell you good news, and then they end up telling you good news. I've also done this for a friend. He's always overworked. His work is chronically looking for new people, and every time they hire someone new, they kind of suck, doesn't get the job done well, he ends up working overtime. I don't like that for him. I want him to be at peace and making more and everything good. So I simply imagine him telling me on the Xbox, because sometimes we play Xbox. So I imagine him telling me through the headset, yeah, I haven't been going overtime, everything's great. We actually hired some new guys and they're coming in and everything's good. Then I completely forget about it, right? Ideally, when you know that you've impressed the subconscious, or when you know that you're satisfied within yourself with the desire now, you can forget about it. That's how you know you're sure. You're very sure when it feels like you can forget about whatever it is. If you're trying to pay the bills and you're like, where's the money, where's the money? You're not very sure because you're not forgetting about it. That's okay. I'm just telling you that is how it is in the easiest cases. When it comes the most smoothly, you forget about it. Anyways, I forgot about hearing this, and one day I'm playing Xbox and he tells me, yeah, they got some new guys at work, and everything that I had imagined him telling me, he told me. And it was good. He got more time to himself and he wasn't overworked and everything's good. That's another example. Another example that I'll give you is not someone specific, right? But I just put the idea out as an affirmation. I love this affirmation just because it's nice. Again, you don't want to just manifest big things in your life, but you want all aspects of your life to be in alignment with your ideal. Manifesting isn't about just drawing in these big things, or you need something huge like a new house or a new car or a new job, okay? It's about every little thing. How do you want to be treated? How do you want to think? How do you want to act? All of these things are part of it. So here's an example where I just simply put it out there. I'm walking. I often walk through my neighborhood. Thankfully, where I live, it's been pretty beautiful lately, and there's a lot of trees, some trails I can walk through. And as I walk, I reflect on life. And sometimes I'll just drop an affirmation into the pool of the mind, right? It's not that I'm overthinking it or even visualizing it or making it some big deal or trying to feel it 100,000%. I simply just thought it. And so what I thought was, I always get the most wonderful compliments. And I thought it once. I've affirmed this here and there since I thought about what I would like in my life, right? So this isn't the only time I've ever said it, but every once in a while I'll think of it and I'll say it. So I did that, and I happened to walk to a gas station to buy a sweet treat. I'm talking about that a lot lately. So I'm in there and I get a compliment on the hair that I had in my ID. Some of my older videos you've seen, possibly, I have super long hair. And so she said, such beautiful hair and you got rid of it. Even though it's a compliment for my past self, it doesn't mean I have bad hair now. I still accept that as a compliment. But the next day, I'm on another walk and I pass by an older woman who's putting something in her car. I say hello, she says hello. And as I'm walking past her, she turns around and calls out to me saying, you look very handsome, mister. And I say, oh, thank you very much. And it's wonderful. It's very, very sweet. It's not something extreme. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying it because this is thought transference. I put the idea out. I get the most wonderful compliments. I didn't care about who or when or how, and I just allowed it to happen. There was no resistance, no pressure, and it came through, and it continues to come through. Other people tell me other things. I'm not going to go on some long list and be like, listen to all these compliments I get. But it's just a wonderful example of thought transference. It goes from within out, because everyone is you pushed out. That is very popular from Neville Goddard. It's not a joke. It's not an exaggeration. Literally, you can have someone in your imagination tell you good news, and it will happen. They will come and tell you this good news. And to the degree that you are self-persuaded that that actually occurred, then it will happen more quickly, more rapidly, more smoothly. And you have this power. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself thinking that you have no control over what other people treat you like. You have absolute control. You can imagine, instead of imagining arguments, in the shower, and it feels so good to tell them off, you can instead imagine you're having the most marvelous conversation. You're telling them good news about yourself. They congratulate you and tell you good news about themselves. It's magical, and you'll find that it's much more pleasing an experience to have these wonderful inner conversations as opposed to the negative ones that we are often programmed to do. There was a man that Neville Goddard talked about that would be in his audience, but he said he would spend 5 to 10 minutes a day as he was shaving, and he would tell off the president. And maybe you feel like telling off the president, or maybe you feel like telling off one of the former presidents. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that you change this inner conversation, because all you're doing is injuring yourself. You're not getting even with anyone. There is only you, and everyone is you pushed out. When you put an idea into the subconscious, which is just the part of yourself that you're not directly aware of, consciously aware of in this present individual experience, you put it out, and it has to express through someone, something, somewhere. And in the case of the compliment affirmation, I didn't care who or how or when, but it expressed through multiple people. It's wonderful. But you can also do it specifically, like my friend who I wanted to help with work, and my dad who I wanted to get him a new truck. These are things that you're capable of. You are capable of telepathy, but it's not exactly as people make it seem in the movies where you're reading minds and things like that. It's more like Inception. Right? In Inception, they're planting an idea by going into people's dreams, the realm of the subconscious, going into people's dreams and making it seem like an original idea to them. That's how it is. People will think it's their idea to help you out, or to compliment you, or to do whatever it is. But no, nothing happens in this world unless it happens first in imagination. Signs follow, they do not precede, as Neville Goddard often said. Allow yourself, if there's anything that you desire to experience or hear from someone, allow yourself to hear it and feel it and experience it in imagination, and it will come to pass. Neville Goddard has a lecture called Awakened Imagination. He also has a book by the same name, but the lecture is wonderful. It's not in his own voice, but I listen to it on the channel Giving Voice to the Wisdom of the Ages, and it's very well read. In it, he explains how a woman was kicked out of her home pretty much by her son, who had married his wife, and the wife and the mother-in-law did not get along. This woman, who's the mother-in-law, had not seen or heard from them or the grandchildren in years. And so upon hearing about this law, she imagined herself receiving a letter that expressed their desire for her to come and visit and how much they missed her. So she pretty much memorized this letter and fell asleep reading it in imagination each night. And she ended up receiving a letter which was identical to the one she crafted in her mind. And hearing this story, another person in the audience said, doesn't it kind of ruin the surprise? Doesn't it feel strange that someone couldn't just buy you flowers? You have to imagine that they're buying you flowers. And he said that is to be completely asleep. You have to be completely asleep once you're aware of this law to feel like it takes away any specialness, because this entire 3D world is dead. It is a complete blessing that we know that the one cause, there's no other cause, the one cause of all phenomena of life is the imagination. If you feel like it's odd or strange that you can't have something happen in your life without you first imagining it, then you're simply not used to what it means to live in imagination and live in the reality of imagination. You're still playing around in the mirror. You're playing with shadows. This whole 3D experience, and I'm not exaggerating, this whole 3D experience is as dead as the screen on which movies are projected in a theater. That is my video on thought transference. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it valuable. If you did, leave a comment. I love you all so much. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.